So we have some sad news, unfortunately, and this is a very important one in Transformers. It seems that the passing of Yasuta Sato, the founder of Takara, which is now known as Takara-Tomy, has passed away. He passed away at the age of 94, which, to be fair, we could only be lucky to live that long.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Sato, he founded Sato Vinyl back in 1955, small company. After World War II, a lot of manufacturing plants, when they weren't now making a whole bunch of, war-related stuff and everything, they moved a lot of their manufacturing of plastic goods and metal goods to that of toys. And Sato Vinyl, lo and behold, vinyl was something that if you're a collector of
records,
not so much even records, but if you're a collector of figurines and monster figurines in the 1960s, specifically that of Godzilla and Ultraman, all of those are made of vinyl. So later on in 1960, Sato Vinyl became Takara Vinyl. And they would go on to then make vinyl stuff of dolls, which we know as Michi-chan, which is their version of Barbie, if you will. And the domino effect came from there, and we had Microman and Diaclone, which would then lead to what we have of our beloved Transformers today. NHK, which is one of the big news outlets and TV stations in Japan, referred to him as the King of Toys, which I would not argue with that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially considering that Takara's history, even outside of Transformers, and how it's influenced a lot of stuff is a big thing, because with even something like Microman and its connections to G.I. Joe, and Takara went on to do video games at one point, and Takara was responsible for bringing a lot of SNK's titles to the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
They were their, I guess we'll call it their licensor and distributor for that kind of stuff when SNK was having difficulty porting over their software from what was normally just for their Neo Geo hardware. Yeah. So, Takara was a big company all throughout the 60s up until today, even with the merger. And Mr. Sato was behind a lot of that stuff, and it's a shame to have one of the key members of the foundation of toys that came, especially from the 60s, because the 60s really was that boom of toys in general, even from the American side, but even on the Japanese side, because of kaijus and stuff like that. It's a shame to hear that, but I mean, it's hard to feel too bad. 94, so he lived a good life. Let's put it this way. I'm pretty sure he lived a very good life,
and he spawned a lot of stuff that we love today. Pretty much.
I like the image that they actually have of him that they're using, because a lot of people don't understand that that Takara's very first logo was a kind of a blackface kind of logo, and a lot of people forget that history of it. They kind of discontinued that design, I want to say 86, 87. So that's like people are wondering, like, what are those two like puppets with them? That's what Takara's old logo used to be, and they haven't used that logo for years. In front of him also, in that same image, is a whole bunch of Chrono Q stuff, which is what Bumblebee would go on to become, these little penny racers. And Chrono Q still exists to this very day. He also has, obviously, a leader class, Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, and, as I mentioned before, Michi-chan dolls next to him, too. But yeah, awesome stuff that he's done throughout the years. Rest in peace, Mr. Sato-san. This is, very important dude.